Alright guys, so this Ford Courier, which you'll notice is not my Ford Courier, has a pretty wicked exhaust manifold leak. So it's squeaking real bad, kind of sounds like, I don't know, it's hard to describe, a real high pitched squeak. As you can see, it's got a tappet cover leak real bad too. But first we're just going to replace the manifold, exhaust manifold gasket. So what I do is I take off all the air intake stuff, so that's all this, and then I start removing the bolts. So two 14s, underneath them a 14 and a 14, 12, 12, 12, and there should be a 12 mil in there, but it's actually snapped off by the looks of it. Can't get a good look at that, but yeah, that stud snapped off, so maybe we'll fix that as well. This ute has an EGR, so we'll remove the EGR so we can take the manifold off, loosen that bracket down there so that we have some room to wiggle this out, and then we'll put the manifold in. So let's get this off and loosen that and take all these bolts off for now. So one little thing is most people will take the turbo off and the downpipe off and all that. I think it's unnecessary to get to this bolt. So this one, what I do, quarter inch, well, I don't use this to break it. Use a little quarter inch breaker bar, quarter inch extension onto a quarter inch swivel into a 14 mil. Oh, sorry, one-handed for a second. It's going to be a bit difficult to put in one-handed, but yeah, you get it up in there and use your other hand to get the socket in through there. With this bolt, hang on, let me just put this down for a sec. With this one here, what I do, same exact setup, but with the little breaker bar, go through here into like something like that, and then can be a bit fiddly. This engine's hot too, can be a bit hard. All the other bolts are straightforward. You can get 12 mil through there, 12 mil through there if the stud wasn't broken, and then the top ones are super easy to get. I use a spanner on those. Yeah, straightforward as. Well, the reason I undo the little bracket down here on the exhaust is so that the rubbers will give me enough flex just to pull this off the studs and get the manifold in. Need to undo this just so that I can get the movement I need to get that manifold in. Alrighty, so a few little must-dos. Penetrating oil, start soaking it up to a week before you start doing the job if you can. You don't want to snap studs. Here I had a really stubborn bolt. It was kind of rusted on, so when you're doing that, so when you're doing like a rusted on stud bolt, I use a breaker bar. I do everything by hand. I don't use impacts or anything like that when I'm doing this sort of stuff. You go, and then if you feel it seize up, go backwards, sort of wiggle it out. So just keep going like that, and then slowly push it, readjust, go in a bit, then don't, like if you feel it seize up, don't just crank it because you'll snap the stud. So yeah, what I've changed is I decided to take the dump pipe off because I'm going to have to get a welder in to get the stud out. So I've done that. To get the EGR, I couldn't get a socket in there very comfortably, so I've ended up unbolting the EGR with a few 12 mils, 12 mil and then a 12 mil back there. So that should give me the room I need to get it out. Yeah. Alrighty, so I had to undo the bracket down there like I originally said, to get the movement off, to get the downpipe off. Once I had the downpipe off, I could pull the manifold forward, which allowed me to get the socket in there. So now that's undone, which means I can take this EGR out and start having a look at welding that out. So there's that out, there's that out. Lovely. Alrighty, so you disconnect the oil send oil in, oil out, coolant, both the coolant lines. Once they're out, you're pretty well laughing. That's the manifold out. So over here is what you've got left over here. It's really not too bad. So there is the culprit. And to be fair, yeah, it's a little bit had it, but it's not actually too bad. It's not delaminating too much. I'd say the reason that they've got me to do this job while it's whistling is the fact that this stud was broken. Oh, look at that. I was going to weld something to that to pull that out, but that's just straight laziness, whoever's done that. So that just came out by hand. That means I don't have to bust out the welder. Alright, I was kind of hoping to show you guys that, but what I would have done is, say that was stuck in there, I would have welded a nut to the end and then cracked it with spanner, and that would have got it out. Looks like we're not doing that though, which is a good thing. Alright, so let's clean down the surface. So clean all this down. It's mostly just this mating surface that we're cleaning down. So yeah, clean all that down. I'll probably get some brake cleaner out as well, give it a smack. Do that right now. Alrighty, so there's some brake clean on, cleaned her all up a little bit. I'll give it all a wipe down now. So this car has been overheating as well. So what I'm gonna do is, while I'm in here, I'm gonna take the thermostat out, and give that a good fucking, I'll show you what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna test it. I'm gonna boil some water and see if the thermostat's opening, or if it's stuck closed, or if it's stuck open. Let's get to the thermostat. Super easy job while I've got all this out. There's two 12, actually I think they're 10 mils. So there's the thermostat housing there. I'm gonna crack that. Oh, focus. Crack that, and there's another one in there. This one's a bit of a pain because of this little sucker, but I'll take that out, and then hopefully that actually feels like it's just gonna pop right out. So I'll show that quickly now. Alrighty, so taking the dipstick out. It came out way too easily. It should be normally kind of hard to get out. Little 10 mil using the dipstick as a pointer. 10 mil belt there, which was holding the dipstick in, and it's just pressed in. It came out way too easy. Shouldn't, but let's make sure it's installed properly. So now there's two bolts on the side of the thermostat, 1 and 2. We're going to take 1 and 2. We're going to take them out. Have a look at the thermostat. And yep, she opened. So you might have heard that. See on the top there, the rubber's out. That bit's pushed in, letting gaps in on the side there. So she opened up, which means the thermostat isn't buggered. Leave her in there, see if it opens up even more, which it could do. But yeah, that's a good sign. So I didn't want to go ahead and start diagnosing other stuff for reasons of overheating without checking this, considering I was right next to it. But yeah, no, she looks a-okay. Cooked to perfection. Alrighty, so we got the thermostat back in. That wasn't the cause of the overheating issue, so now let's get this little fella back in. I'll show you how I do that. So take the dipstick out. So you got just your pipe, Hang on, just need to pause for a sec. I'm just cleaning the end. Focus up. Cleaning that off. Probably gonna replace that O-ring, and then yeah, I'll show you how I get it in. Righty, so I always use a soft hammer. As far as I see it, they're almost sacrificial. So you get it in the hole, and then there you go, just like that. And then you put your 10mm in. You put your socket back in. Yes. Sorry, oh, you can't even see it. So yeah, once you've tapped it in the hole, you get your nut back in. All good. Alrighty, now we're on the put back together. So EGR goes in first because that needs the space while the manifold's out. Don't forget any of your coolant lines, anything like that, so that'll go there. The oil return line, all that has to go back on, or you're gonna have an unhappy boy or girl, being you. So yeah, let's get this all back together. Obviously don't forget the manifold gasket, that's what we're doing. And yeah, remember to have fun. Alrighty, so we've got the manifold gasket back on, manifold on, turbo downpipe on, turbo boost charge piping back on. I'm just dropping the coolant into this shell at the moment. Didn't have much in it, not a good sign. So yeah, I'm gonna put the air intake all back together, and then fill up the coolant, do a compression test to see if that gives us any indication of the head gasket, and then yeah, we'll go from there. Cylinder 1 is A-OK, sitting around 400. Cylinder 2, 400. Cylinder 3, 380, perfect, that's fine. So I think it's like 360 to 420, so that's perfect. Cylinder 4, same boat as cylinder 3, 380. Perfect. Alrighty, so thinking it could have been an air bubble that was causing it to overheat. So just gonna fill the coolant up and take it from there. It did drop like very little coolant as well. There's more water, so see how we go. So I'll fill this up, we'll start it up and start trying to push air bubbles out. Alrighty, so this is how I flush out bubbles. Get like a reservoir of coolant, and you start up the engine and try to get it hot enough that the thermostat opens. So start her up. From here, you can't let that run out of water. So keep chugging down water, trying to avoid it running out, so don't let air into the system. And as that's going through, you squeeze your pipes. That's not enough water coming out. So yeah, go through, let it warm up. While that's warming up, I'm going to put the air intake back together. With everything back together, I can't get it to overheat, so I'm thinking with the compression test and everything that this car's actually no head gasket, no head issues. I'm feeling like they just didn't have any water in the radiator, because when I released it, there's very little in there. I can't get it to overheat. I've just powered up some massive hills. It won't go up, so I think it was just a matter of just inadequate coolant, inadequate water in the radiator, which is choice. Which means I can tell this lady whose car that I'm fixing that she's not looking at $2.5 grand for me to do her head. Even though that would have been great content, I'm sure she's going to be stoked. Maybe, who knows, maybe it's like a minor leak and it will keep getting worse. But yeah, that's choice. I'll take it back home and we'll finish up. Choo! There it is, guys. Exhaust manifold gasket replaced, done and dusted. Everything's back together. Just letting it cool down. I'll double check that coolant level in a minute. But yeah, laughing. If you enjoy this sort of content, guys, remember to subscribe, like the video, leave a comment. Stuff really helps me grow, and I thrive off it. Thanks everyone for watching. Fin Dog out.